Here. Mayor Pro Tem Jones.
Here.
Mayor Dalton.
Here. We'll have the invocation by Keith Jones, Public Works Director, and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Jones, or Mayor Pro Tem Jones. Okay, I see we have a presentation.
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor. We have a couple tonight, and I'd like Keith Jones to make the presentations this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fertel. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, tonight the Garden Grove City Council is honored to recognize a longtime Garden Grove resident whose stellar performance at the Senior Olympics bring pride and inspiration to the community. Will Beatrice Jones please step to the podium? It was exactly 1 year ago that Miss Beatrice Jones competed at the Nevada State Olympic Games, earning bronze medals in 2 events, the backstroke and the crawl. This significant win solidified her bid to enter the 2009 National Senior Olympics. In June, she competed and medaled again, this time at the California State Senior Olympic Games in Pasadena. In the women's 65 to 69 age group, novice category, she earned a gold medal in the breaststroke and 2 bronze medals in the crawl and backstroke. She plans to train for the California State Olympic Games in 2010, which is a qualifier for the next National Senior Olympics to be held in Houston, Texas in 2011. Although Beatrice had competed in senior aquatics for only 11 years, she has been swimming since she was 5 years old. Beatrice's love of water sports began with her mother's determination that her children would learn water safety, despite the fact that she herself never learned to swim. In addition to becoming an advanced swimmer, Beatrice was a junior lifeguard, competed in water ballet, and completed water safety instructor certification in college. Through the H. Lewis Lake Senior Center, Beatrice learned of the Senior Olympics. This opportunity fulfilled her dream of being an Olympian. She is just as accomplished outside the pool as well. A 35-year resident, she has volunteered in parent-teacher organizations and served on the Garden Grove Unified School District Special Education Advisory Council. For the past 13 years, Mrs. Jones and her family have operated the Senoje American African flags, making presentations on the Black history and women and the military. At this time, the Mayor and City Council would like to present Beatrice Jones with a certificate of recognition and a memento. The city is proud to have such an accomplished senior athlete set an example for successfully achieving personal dreams and goals.
Okay, I need to take one more.
I'll take another one, too.
I want to thank you for the recognition of my meager personal efforts in improved fitness, and the joys of just basically enjoying senior Olympic swimming. I'm grateful for the opportunity to know that my personal aspirations for Olympic competition and the resultant fame has created a historical footnote in the city of Garden Grove, my home for the past 35 years. I must encourage seniors in our city to step out and to reach for the Olympic gold rings, to improve your health, to broaden your social sphere, and to connect with others. And those who enjoy sports and competition in diverse activities such as walking, bowling, basketball, table tennis, and naturally swimming. There are other sports. The desire is all that is required to participate. It's not necessarily the skill, it's the desire to participate. You may draw on your high school or your college experience. If you don't have any, you will determine if you have an interest, if you come out and see what the seniors can do. You will find a way to develop those skills and build the necessary training and support for whatever interest you may have. I have seen swimmers who have begun at age 50 to learn to swim and have been very successful at competing. It is the continued movement and increase that will increase your better health. And in this city so dedicated to the youth, it's important that we take advantage of our new athletic equipment right next door. And if you haven't seen it, strategically between the credit union and the senior center. A good place to start. Come out and check out the equipment. Burn a few calories. You might find someone that's interested. And my general hope is that our Lewis Lake Senior Center will, through additional exposure, involve more seniors so that we can again have a meaningful and broad senior Olympics. I guess we call them Garden Grove Senior Games here in Garden Grove. For those who have found that they're really interested right now, you still have opportunity to sign up and to compete in the Anaheim Southline Senior Olympics, which will be in October. So check with the Senior Center or contact me, and I'll do my best to assist you in developing that skill. Again, I want to thank you, and I want you to know I will be working with the Senior Center to see if we can reestablish the development of our Senior Olympic Games. I wanted to publicly thank my family, Pat Jackson and Sam Jackson, who went out when I first decided I was going to swim in the hot sun. I know they laughed themselves to death as I panted and finished the first game, but they they have stayed with me, and I can now compete fairly successfully now. So it's something that every citizen should take a chance to do and enjoy. I want to thank you, City Council, very much for this recognition.
Mr. Mayor, our next item is a business spotlight, and we're honored to recognize Victor Gomez of Los Sanchez Restaurant for their 30th anniversary here in Garden Grove, and Keith Jones will make a presentation of this item as well.
Tonight, the Garden Grove City Council presents the monthly business spotlight highlighting the accomplishments of local business professionals. This evening, the spotlight shines on one of the city's most popular local restaurants. Would Victor Gomez, owner and proprietor of Los Sanchez Restaurant, please come forward? Los Sanchez Restaurant has been a fixture in the Garden Grove community for the past 30 years. This family-owned and operated business opened its doors on Harbor Boulevard in 1979. This was the second restaurant for Sebastian Gomez, who was running in Casa Sanchez in Long Beach with the assistance of his brother Victor. He named the restaurant Los Sanchez to signify the two brothers' ownership because the word Los signifies the plural tense in Spanish language. Sebastian continued to run the Long Beach restaurant, and Victor took over the day-to-day operations at the Garden Grove facility. Victor has always enjoyed cooking. As a young boy, he would always follow his mother around in the kitchen, tugging at the bottom of her dress, looking over her shoulder, and asking her, what was she making? Since owning the restaurant, Victor has become an icon in the community. His distinctive voice can be heard over the loudspeaker, informing the many customers when their orders are ready for pickup. Los Sanchez Restaurant specializes in the Sonora style of cooking, which is distinguished by big, thin tortillas and meat topped with salsa chili. The first owner of Casa Sanchez grew up in Arizona, where the Sonora style of food is very popular. Victor and his brother Sebastian learned that style of cooking from him. Victor takes great pride in combining the freshest and most flavorful ingredients, serving large portions, offering a huge selection, and using only the most authentic Sonoran flavors. Prices range from $4 to $9 for any of their great Mexican dishes. In August 2004, the Garden Grove Agency of Community Development worked with Los Sanchez Restaurant to facilitate relocation of the restaurant to their current location at 11906 Garden Grove Boulevard in order to continue development of International West and make room for the new Sheraton Hotel. This successful relocation project made Victor a property owner instead of a tenant. In September 2006, Los Sanchez Restaurant reopened for business at their new location. Also back in action, or in action, at the restaurant is Pancho Sanchez, a life-size doll complete with mustache, sombrero, and poncho. He's been a part of the restaurant for 23 years and now has a customized seating area designed just for him. On Wednesday, September 16th, the Economic Development Department will be sponsoring the Chamber's Networking Mixer at Los Sanchez in order to celebrate and recognize their milestone 30th anniversary in Garden Grove. Food and entertainment will be provided from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Victor is lucky to work at the restaurant with his wife, Aida. In April, they were celebrated 25th wedding anniversary. They are the parents of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls, ranging in age from 15 to 34. The Gomez family has been very generous and has a very giving spirit, which is evidenced by the support that Los Sanchez Restaurant continues to give to the community. They provide food to several Little League teams, the American Cancer Society, local churches, and also assist in feeding the homeless. They continue to support many city events such as Garden Grove Pride and A Taste of Garden Grove. At this time, the Mayor and the City Council would like to present Victor Gomez of Los Sanchez Restaurant with a certificate of recognition and gift as the September Business Spotlight honoree. Garden Grove salutes you as an outstanding business owner in the community.
Why don't you come on forward and shake hands before I hand you this, because you won't have any hands free. Thanks, you do a great job for city. Okay, I'm going to give you these so when you have your picture taken, once this is out of my hand, it's your responsibility, okay? All right. And I have a box here for it, too. Don't forget, I want to give that to you. Yes. Yeah, but I'm awful hungry now.
Because
when we're talking
the
about
mayor
your
was
food.
going like that.
Once you get done with that, why don't you come up and say a few words? Well, if you feel more comfortable. 33.
Well, what can I say? Say thank you very much for everything, and I'm very happy to work in Garden Grove. I think I want to be here all my life.
Yes. Okay, we have another presentation, a little different, though.
A little bit different. We'll be receiving a presentation from Mary Coggins of the National Children's Study. Mary, if you please come forward.
Good evening. Thank you all so much for taking the time to hear me tonight. My name is Mary Coggins, and I work for UCI. I'm the Outreach and Engagement Coordinator for the National Children's Study. I'm going to have a 7-minute video shown. This will really give you the national perspective of the project. In the year 2000, the Children's Health Act required that a longitudinal study be done across the United States to take a look at genetics and environmental exposures to see what might be causing things like autism, asthma, obesity, all sorts of childhood illnesses that have been on the rise. So this project will follow 100,000 babies from before they're born till they're 21 years old. So this video will tell you a little bit about it, and then I'll do a real quick, brief presentation on how it relates to Garden Grove. So thank you.
When I grow up, I want to be a singer. When I grow up, I want to be a dentist.
Every child grows up with dreams of the future. Their own, their parents, their family.
I can't remember what. I want to be a mechanical engineer. Una doctora.
And every one of those dreams starts with being healthy.
I'm going to be a professional piano player.
There's nothing more fundamental.
Baseball player. I'm going to be a ferry boat captain.
I think I'll be an elementary school teacher or maybe a nurse practitioner.
I want her to be strong.
I want him to be safe.
I just want him to be healthy.
I want him to be happy.
I just want to help her follow her dreams.
Every American parent wants the very best for their children. They want them to grow up healthy, exposed to the best education that they can get, so that they have the optimum chance to reach adulthood, free of disease and disability, and able to achieve their full potential.
That's why hundreds of thousands of Americans, children and their families, will be joining forces, coming together to participate in the National Children's Study.
The National Children's Study is the largest, boldest, and most innovative study of children's health and disease ever done.
It will be a representation of the nation's children, which means that it will include children from all social economic groups and children from all races and ethnic groups.
The National Children's Study is a study of 100,000 children to try to understand the role of environment in child health and disease.
This landmark largest effort, the largest and most comprehensive health study of children ever, will enrich the future with invaluable medical knowledge, helping generations of American children lead healthier lives.
I see this as the first opportunity for our nation's children to get their fair due.
It will involve 100,000 children and families over the course of 21 years.
Those 100,000 children will represent 100,000 mothers, 100,000 fathers and aunts and uncles in communities scattered all across the United States. And from this, we'll learn very important lessons about health and about disease.
The National Children's Study will focus on just how environmental exposures interact with the genetic information to either result in or prevent healthy and productive children.
We have ongoing epidemics of certain childhood diseases, for example, asthma.
And for mortality,
obesity,
Diabetes,
any number of risk-taking behaviors,
autism,
learning disabilities,
cardiovascular disease,
and even injuries.
increase that we're seeing in diabetes type 2, which we didn't see 10 or 15 years ago.
A number of diseases which are new diseases for us. They weren't around 30, 40 years ago to the degree that they are now.
There might be some trends that are going on now that we can counteract.
Each one of us who is a healthcare professional, particularly a children's healthcare professional, has seen this shift in children's health over the last decades. And we stop and pause and say, why?
The study was conceived to look at child development from preconception all the way through until they're 21 years old. We have not ever done this.
It will give us information and evidence that will provide better explanations and understanding for so many conditions that today are affecting not just an individual or groups of individuals, but entire populations.
The National Children's Study is our effort to understand one of the great mysteries in pediatrics today. What role does environment play in causing diseases that we don't know the cause of otherwise?
It goes from environmental to social to physical.
their prenatal environment.
The food you eat, the water that we drink,
the quality of the air that we breathe,
the soil that the child plays in.
We have new tools for measuring the environment. We have the capability of looking at DNA now in relationship to the environment from the Human Genome Project. We have the computer and data management capabilities that allow us to put all this together for the very first time.
And all at the same time, we're pledging in return to maintain the confidentiality of this information.
Getting those kinds of answers won't be quick, but it's already underway. Researchers are talking to hundreds of thousands of Americans, inviting them and their babies to take part. Each child will be enrolled at birth and followed for 21 years.
We are asking individuals to participate in the study as volunteers.
All of us love children. All of us want a healthy society. And I think that's one of the reasons why a young woman would want to be a part of it.
A father should want to be involved in the study just as much as a mother, because the two of them are going to have a child, and both of them equally want nothing more than for that child to have a healthy life and to become a healthy adult.
It's one of the greatest opportunities, I think, to participate in a study that involves future generations.
As a participant, they're going to tell you a lot about the study. You can talk it over with your family members so that everybody knows what this is going to be like. And then there are going to be some screening things that they're going to do. There's going to be some questionnaires. Some of it will be done over the phone, and some of it will be done in home visits.
And it's an opportunity for our family to really make a significant contribution to understanding the health and disease of children in the United States. It's a way to really give back to society, if you will, or contribute to society in a very meaningful and tangible way.
A child's health is very much dependent not only on the child's social and physical environment, but also how genetics and the environment interact. We're going to learn a lot from the National Children's Study.
This is a critically important study at the right time with the right people doing it.
It's a great opportunity to participate in something that's going to make a huge difference.
I fully expect that in the future, people will look back on this and they'll say, my kid was in the National Children's Study, and that will be a point of pride for that family.
This is not just about a research study. It's about our community. It's about our lives. It's about our families. About our children.
I'd want to be in the National Children's Study to learn why kids have allergies.
Why do they have asthma?
Are overweight.
To learn more about our health, our environment,
Because we need more answers about children's health.
For our kids.
For everybody's kids.
I'd want to be in the National Children's Study because it's important.
Because it's important to me.
It's time.
it's time.
It's time.
It's never been done before.
It's something I can do for America, for my children's children.
Because when I grow up, I just want to be healthy. When I grow up, I want to be a horseback rider. I want to fly airplanes. I want to work for the CIA and be a spy.
I want to be a TV reporter.
We just want our kids to grow up healthy.
When I grow up, I'm not sure what I'm going to be, but it's going to be fun.
I like that one the best. Thank you so much for taking the time. So how does this relate to Garden Grove? Orange County was selected as one of 105 counties to participate in this study across the U.S. And in our county, we were actually selected as one of the 7 Vanguard centers. So we're the first 7 of counties participating. So we're the pilot. We rolled out the study on April 25th, and we're in 15 neighborhoods. What they did was they took the county and they divided into little pieces that each warranted 25 births per year. And in Orange County, we have about 48,000 births per year. So then they randomly selected from those pieces 15 of them. One of them is Garden Grove. And it's a very small little neighborhood that I am not going to put up on the projector because it is a confidential thing for the right and privacy of the participants should they choose to participate. But the way this works that's very unique is that in order to have a true representative sampling, we're doing a door-to-door household recruitment. So in that identified area of the 15 neighborhoods, we have interviewers in the field going door-to-door. I'm happy to announce that Garden Grove is already 88% of the way through. All of your residents have been amazing. We started July 31st, and we're already 88% of the way through 535 households. We've worked closely with Pilar here at the city and Chris Bakuris at the PD and different groups. We were on the TV and in the paper. So I'm just pleased here today to tell you about this study, let you know that it's going on. During 6 months, we go through, we identify the women in these neighborhoods of childbearing age who might have children in the next 5 years. Then over the 5 years, if they have a child and they so choose to participate and they live in those neighborhoods, they can. We're looking to recruit approximately 1,250 women over the 5 years, so it's about 250 women a year. Locally, our partnerships are UCI, the Children and Families Commission, the Healthcare Agency, and Chalk Hospital. Nationally, we're funded through the National Institute of Health, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Center for Disease Control. So that's really the National Children's Study. I've provided you with a booklet on information, our local brochure that lists the other cities involved, my business card if you have any questions, and hopefully over the next 5 years I can come back and give you guys further updates on the findings. So unless you have any questions.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good
Appreciate it.
evening.
Okay, now we'll go to oral communications for the council and the agency. Reina Reynoso.
Good
evening, Mayor, Council, and members of staff. The purpose of my visit here today is to introduce myself to you. My name again is Reina Reynoso, and I'm the new Public Affairs Manager for the gas company, taking over for Jennifer Gonzalez's position. So one of my cities is Garden Grove. If you have any questions or we can help the community in any way, please give me a call. I'm going to leave some cards here for you. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I'm around. I've been in the position for a couple of months now. However, they're starting to get me more out in the community because I'm getting help in the office. So I'm going to be out there more often. I've seen some of you already, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I'm around and that we're here to work together for whatever it is that we can do. Okay?
Thank you. Robin Macario.
Good evening, Council, staff, and Garden Grove residents. I'm Robin Marcario. I just want to take a moment to thank the Council for permitting me to do my little summer project, which was to put in 4 benches, the mosaic tiles on 4 different benches here in our city. I thought it was very brave of you, and you are just as concerned about deterring graffiti and beautifying our city as I am. Last Saturday, the Youth Center on Main Street, Hope, I did a class there with about a dozen kids, and they put together several different panels, anything from Garden Grove symbols, the GG or the official city seal, to strawberries and flowers, because it's along the parade route on Euclid and College. And the kids put it up last Saturday, had a wonderful time. They did a great job. There were kids there from 8 years old to 14 years old. They were covered with, thin set all over their hands and having an absolute blast beautifying our city. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to create and donate these 4 benches here in our city. I've received lots of positive comments. Hopefully you have as well. And I also wanted to just once again thank you for allowing us to contribute. The kids have just as much to contribute to our community. They're our future leaders, and they thoroughly enjoyed the experience. Channel 3, I just wanted to thank them for being there for this little community event. They, were there. The kids, it was super exciting for them to know that they're going to be on This Week in Garden Grove, which provides such a wonderful service here in Garden Grove, where you can kind of get a nice overview of what's happening in our city on a weekly basis. It's done on Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock on Channel 3, or you can get that via the city website and click on Channel 3 or This Week in Garden Grove, and it comes right up, and you can see it on your computer. So I just think that that's such a valuable resource to our residents. Also, the Journal, our local paper, comes out on Thursdays. They also are an excellent source of information, whether it's up-and-coming events or covering events that have already occurred. You can pick those up, the Journal, at either the libraries or City Hall or at some of the restaurants. So if you ever want to know what's going on in Garden Grove, pick up the Journal or watch Channel 3. Oh, yes, I just want to make a quick announcement that there will be a neighborhood meeting. It's next Wednesday, September the 16th at 7 p.m. It'll be held here at the Community Meeting Center in Room B at 7 o'clock. It's with regards to the plans for the Brookhurst Triangle. So anybody that wants to listen to the proposals, listen to the concept, give their ideas about what in fact is being considered, I highly suggest you go to the meeting. The notice designates that there will be about 200 square feet of commercial and office space, and that currently they're considering putting in 800 units in that section there on Garden Grove Boulevard and Brookhurst. It's nearly a 13-acre site, and it would be a great source of information to kind of get an idea of what they're considering at this point. Once again, that's for Wednesday, September the 16th at 7 p.m. here at the Community Meeting Center. See you then. Thank you.
Rod Powell.
That's nice and warm in here. My name is Rod, and you know me, right? I was going to read from my fireworks script tonight, but I forgot to bring it with me. So I guess we're in. I've only got left the findings and the recommendations, but I think what I'm going to do is do those with probably just your responses, Mayor Dalton. I may do it with the fire chief and police chief's responses, but I doubt it. I was reading some paperwork that was given to me by David Ville at the AARP board meeting Friday, and it was interesting. I didn't realize, Bruce, how helpful that you were to Sharon regarding helping her with her concerns about the fireworks, and even including just a year or so ago trying to get it put on the ballot. I really think that that was noble of you. And Dina, you too were for that. I don't know why we haven't revisited that. It seemed to just fall off the cliff right after the 4th of July, didn't it? And for no apparent reason. So I hope there will come a day when we will revisit that and try to get at least this thing voted on. I can't see with the council members that we have that you guys are going to abolish fireworks. Maybe you will if something horrible happens. You know, I used to go to the Westminster City Council meetings, and obviously in case you don't know, a couple of their council members are being criticized right now. One of them for getting a drunk driving, crashing his car into a wall, knocking power out to 300 of his constituents, and another one for going down to the Westminster Police Station and kind of telling the police that they weren't doing their job regarding a kind of floozy bar over on Brookhurst, right near McFadden. So compared to what they've got going on, this really, you know, me criticizing Mr. Doe here for what I think is not living in Garden Grove, I find it just the strangest thing that you don't even know, as you said in your comments last week, you don't even know if he lives in Garden Grove. Isn't that strange? I mean, does any of the other 4 members, I mean, not one of you has come to stood up for him. You've had every chance for 8 months to one time say, yeah, I know where he lives. I've been to his house. I know he lives here. Isn't it kind of, and I know where all of you live. That's not a threat, but I generally know where Dina lives, but you guys all live close to each other. Steve lives so close to where your supposed residence is. I mean, I'm sure that there's something going on at that house. I've seen your truck parked there. I've seen you there. I saw you there, I'll admit that, before the election. I saw you get into your truck around noon one day. So I know you have something to do with that house. But I mean, there is a big controversy. It's trying to be squashed. Nobody wants to deal with it. I mean, we got a city, nobody cares. I mean, doesn't it make us all look bad that nobody cares when a fellow guy running for the office tells you to your face, sit in that chair, you sat in that chair. You wouldn't even respond to him. You've not responded one time to anybody, even one time. You know, it's, what is this, what do they call it, don't ask, don't tell, something like that. You know, I mean, I think that it needs to be resolved. And, you know, at Westminster, they wouldn't allow me to do this, by the way. They would call it personal attack. They don't allow those, just in case you guys ever want to consider that. I don't think this is a
I think we come up with a good idea.
I'll give you. But I mean, I have nothing else against. I have actually nothing else against Andrew. You know, other than I don't think he should be on that seat. I don't think that he should be in that chair. I think that someone should have looked into this more than has been done so. And it's not. I mean, it's never too. You could have actually had 8 months to rectify it and actually move lock, stock, and barrel into Garden Grove. and say, I am a full-fledged member and one of your fellow residents to me. Anyways, thank you for, and you can take that idea. It's a good idea, actually. We shouldn't personally attack you guys. I hope that's not what I'm doing.
Thank you. Peter Katz.
Well, that's a hard act to follow. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and residents. I'm Peter Katz, Chair of the Main Street Commission. And tonight I'm not here to beat a dead horse, but I'm here to remind Mr. Broadwater and the Council that 1 year ago the question was raised as to how to fix some of the problems facing Main Street. Now, with the dissolution of Vehicle Parking District Number 2, it might be time to consider using some of the $140,000 remaining in the Vehicle Parking District Number 2 budget to make some improvements on Main Street. Main Street has great potential in the marketplace. And take, for example, Friday night, August 28th, I want to share with you two pictures, one of the crowd and one of the Vehicle Parking District parking lot sold for the Sheldon project. With your permission, Mayor. This type of crowd can be generated 7 nights a week with just a little help. The community in and around Main Street understands the necessity of being proactive in the terms of its future. We see Main Street as a dynamic entertainment, dining, shopping, and resort area in Garden Grove, and encourage the general plan to be updated to reflect this exciting future, creating an entertainment zone that reflects its historical nature. City Manager Matt Bertel has been one of the primary architects of the progress made in Garden Grove in the past several years in the development of International West. Now that he is a member of the Orange County Tourist Board, it is hoped that he can also drive tourists towards Main Street to enjoy its beauty and ambiance of a down-home bygone era. He's quoted as realizing the value of affordability, strategic location, and valued entertainment as key tourist drawing cards for a successful, forever endless summer. We on Main Street hope to share in that vision, and we wish you lots of luck and best wishes in your new job.
Thank you. Peggy Bergen.
Peggy Bergen, 30-year residence, and I left my glasses at home, so everyone looks really foggy and nice today. But I just have a few little comments here. Well, one of them was about Beatrice Jones, who I was lucky enough to be in a computer class with, and the feeling she gives whenever she talks up here is exactly how she is all the time. We learned a little bit in the class, and we sure all laughed a lot in it. So that made a wonderful class. And I also want to say thank you for all the work you all did to keep Los Sanchez busy in our city, because it is still one of my son's favorite places to go and pick up those nice wet burritos that he can eat off of for 2 days. So those are really, really big assets to our city, and I want to say thank you very much. And so that made wonderful community spotlights tonight. Well, I wasn't here on August 25th. I don't know if you all noticed it, but I was in Washington State. And I did pull up the agendas on my computer, and I did find that, once again, you had a closed session items dealing with buying properties again, which, I mean, I don't know if we're in real estate or if you're city government to take care of us as citizens, but once again, no action was taken, so you just discussed buying more property. But then later on, when you go down to the city council minutes, there's the consent item 6I, consenting to pay $80,000 to the redevelopment group for a playground development, repairs. I'm not exactly sure what it was because I didn't pull up the whole agenda of that. But if we have the money to buy properties, go out and look to buy properties, why does the agency have to come to the city to get money for projects? why don't they use their own money that they have to do the project that they go to the city for? So that's one of my little questions. And then on the council minutes, there was on 6C, the consent items, $60,000 to a consulting service for Neighborhood Improvement Division of the Community Development Department. Why do we always have to buy consultants, pay for outside consultants, if we have a staff that's doing so good? I don't understand. Every single meeting we almost have, we're paying someone to consult for something. Now, I do understand our staff has a lot of activities that they're looking into and overlooking for everything. But I don't know why, when they're overlooking and doing their normal business, don't they keep track of what they're doing so they can turn it in, rather than us having to turn around and pay someone to do exactly the same job, compile a bunch of information. And then also, you all voted, except for Mr. Doe, thank you very much, for the water rates increase. Now, I went to the water meeting, and I listened to them explain why we're the Sacramento little thing that's in the water. We can't have water pump that we need. I listened to all that, and I basically understood what they were saying. But that's fine. Okay, we need to pay more because we have to pay more as a city. That's a very understandable statement. Well then, guess what? September 1st, Tuesday, in the local section, Metropolitan Water District plans to boost pension plans 25%. Now, somehow or another, that's like not even a week after you approve, without even hardly a big discussion, that we're going to have to pay 19% more as citizens for our water. That's going to boost my water bill every other month. And I confirmed it with the people at the desk, at the meeting, at the water meeting. My bill will go up an average of $5 a week, of $5 a month, which means that's going to be another $60 a month for water. Well, what they failed to tell you with this increase, in January, we're supposed to be getting one from the Orange County Water District. Then the following November, the Metropolitan is going to go up again. Within 13 months, our water bills are going to go up approximately 51%. Somehow, I've got green grass. I've got a large yard. And it's not overly green now. I'm noticing a lot of little brown pockets all over, which I'm not very happy about, because we don't want to water too much. But why, if they tell us we need to pay this much more money, do they feel they themselves have enough money to give pensions? I will guarantee you, when I am old enough, I'm not 65 yet, so when I'm old enough to collect a pension from where I was working, it will be a less than 1/6 of what I was making a month. Now, that's not going to be a very big pension from my workplace. Why do all of these other people that are in these places decide they need to collect 70, 80, 90, 120% plus medical as a pension? They should be saving their money just like all of us average citizens for their retirement years and not depend on a pension from their thing. I mean, especially when they're able to vote a pension increase. If I could vote a pension increase with my company, I would tell them I want more money too. But they've given me the same amount of money all the time. So I was at the meeting you had before, and it always amazes me. The first thing everyone talks about, yeah, okay, sorry.
I gave you a little extra. Next council meeting.
Okay, I will bring this up the next time. I'll just keep coming.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff. I'm speaking this evening on a very sad note, and it relates to the fact, I don't know if you're aware, but every month we are losing 15,000 veterans of World War II. They're passing on. This was the greatest generation. These were the young men and women that went forth and protected our country when we were in dire danger of being overrun by ruthless dictators. I'm proud to say that I served in the armed forces, as many did, as Bruce Broadwater did. Fortunately, my service was not that difficult. Although I was away from home, I didn't suffer the agony that most of these combat veterans of World War II went through. Not only World War II, but also the Korean War, the Vietnam War. We have one of our veterans right here this evening of that conflict. And we have honored one of the young men who died saving the lives of others, Michael Monsoor, who received the Congressional Medal of Honor. But not everyone is so honored, and not everyone has the opportunity or the desire in those moments to go forward and take the risk of their own life to defend their fellow soldiers and sailors, airmen. I think we should consider not just those in the past, but honor those who are serving right now in countries all around the world, so that we can come here free citizens and talk to our council and our city staff and express our opinions. Now, one of the individuals, you may have seen the HBO special called Band of Brothers. That was about the 101st Airborne Division in World War II. These were the men who suffered and died and braved the hazards of the Battle of Bastogne. The interviews that preceded and ended each episode were of some of the survivors of that conflict. One of them was named Shifty Powers. His story is told very well in that documentary, but I received an email recently saying that Shifty Powers passed away last month. Another of our heroes of World War II. And if it's possible, Mr. Mayor, I would ask that you close the council meeting this evening in his honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to close all communications. I'm going to deviate for a minute. B. Jones, come back up here for a minute. Now, what's this secret about you just recently became a grandma? A boy or girl?
Girl.
Oh, I was going to say if it was a boy, did you name him Bill or William?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Tell us
Jade.
when and
Well,
height and weight and everything.
okay. Jade is now, 4 weeks old, and she was all of 6 pounds, tiny little bitty thing, and she is now up to 8.5 pounds, and I guess about 18 inches, and she eats a lot, sleeps a lot. She doesn't cry. She's a nice baby. So thus far, I'm enjoying her.
And I bet you're going to teach her how to swim, huh?
That's right. 3
Yeah.
months. We go in the water. Her mother doesn't
Okay.
like that idea. In 3 months, she's going in the water. That's right.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. We'll recess the council and go to the agency.
Okay, at this time, we'll go to the agency. Could you please call roll, Ms. Pomeroy?
Member Dalton?
Here.
Member Doe?
Here.
Member Jones?
Here.
Vice Chair Nguyen? Here. Chair Broadwater?
Here. We have 3 consent items. We have 3 items on consent items. 2, I guess.
2.
Anybody like to pull one? Hear a motion?
Move approval.
Have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Call for the vote.
You didn't work here.
Member Jones?
There you go.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, there are no public hearings. We have item for consideration 4A.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's an acquisition of property on Leda Lane, and I'd like Paul to make the presentation this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fertel. Good evening, Chair Broadwater and agency members. The item before you for consideration is the acquisition of property located at 12602 Leda Lane, owned by Kathleen.
It's recommended that items 4A through 4K be acted on simultaneously unless a separate discussion or action is requested by a council member.
I'd like to pull 4C, 4D, and 4E.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion for the rest?
Move the balance.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, I'd like to have somebody from staff explain what we're doing on 4C, 4D, and 4E, and I do believe that I understand it completely, but it's really, I think those questions, that's being hid from anybody else. It just gets only this sheet on their agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'll go through the items one at a time. The 4C is Harbor Boulevard, Trask Avenue intersection improvements, project 7128. And we're adopting a resolution for OCTA funding in regard to construction for the Harbor Trask intersection improvements. If you recall, the SR 22 improvements that were completed, I think it's 2007 or so, that widened the bridges underneath the SR 22. That allows us now to go back to intersections such as Trask and Harbor and widen the to the full width of that bridge, allowing for in here if it has it. One day allow for 4 southbound traffic lanes consistent with Harbor Boulevard Smart Street, and to add a far side south of Trask Avenue, a far side bus turnout, so they get the buses out of the way of the traffic and allow for that moving through. The amount of Measure M funds available for doing the construction is $640,041. So this is not coming out of the general fund. So we especially like that. So that is 4C.
But make that very, very clear. This money is coming from somewhere else, correct?
Correct.
I mean,
it's a half-cent sales tax that was approved by voters.
Excellent. Okay, I think that's a good enough explanation.
For all three?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Go ahead, then.
I'll move the issue.
All three?
Yes.
Second.
Right. I have a motion and a second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, public hearings.
Mr. Mayor, you have a public hearing tonight to consider the 2009-2010 State Supplemental Law Enforcement Services Funds for purchase of an automated report writing system. And Police Chief here is to give a brief staff report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Our objective tonight is to fulfill the public hearing requirement for Supplemental Law Enforcement Services Funds, or SLESF, and gain City Council approval for the use of the city's FY 2009-10 allocation of approximately $165,000 in SLESF funding allocated by the state. Excuse me. SCLSF funding for local government is currently included in the Governor's proposed State of California 09-10 budget. This allocation assists local agencies by providing additional resources for law enforcement programs or capital items and is not intended to supplant current funding. Last year, City Council approved SLESF funds for the purchase of the Police Department's Automated Report Writing System, or ARWS. However, due to the catastrophic economic downturn, the funds estimated to be received from the state were cut nearly in half, causing the department to cease going any further with the project in last year's 09 budget. For 09-10, the Police Department is asking the City Council to approve approximately $165,000 in SLESF funding to fund 2 projects: the completion of the purchase of an automated report writing system and upgrades to the patrol vehicle in-car video systems. An ARWS, including document scanning, storage, and retrieval, would greatly enhance and provide greater customer service to the public. This system would provide electronic reporting for patrol, detectives, and the front desk personnel. It would also enable scanning of non-automated documents as well as digital storage and retrieval of all of our documents, and the ability to disseminate documents electronically. The ARWS will reduce report completion time, improve report accuracy, and reduce the number of personnel required to process our reports. Most significantly, though, the system would reduce by 20% the amount of time required by police officers to complete reports, creating additional time to spend providing direct law enforcement services to our community. The police department also proposes to use SLSF funds to upgrade the in-car video system, or IVS, in our patrol vehicles. The current system utilizes vaults, which are kept in the trunks of each of these vehicles. The 24/7 use and normal wear and tear caused by being in the trunk of a patrol unit necessitates that each vehicle be transitioned to a wireless system. The wireless system does away with the vault hardware and replaces it with wireless sync capabilities. There's no hardware in the vehicle to get damaged, and this eliminates the need to continually replace damaged equipment. The department is in the preliminary stages of researching and contacting vendors for both projects, and the City Council at a future date will have the opportunity to formally approve these contracts. City Council action for this item merely approves the funding mechanism for these proposed purchases. A portion of these SLES funds will be used in conjunction with funds from the 2009 Recovery Act Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, commonly referred to as JAG grants, to complete the purchase of the ARWS. The police department has traditionally taken great pride in having state-of-the-art equipment. The purchase of the ARWS meets the City Council's vision for the community because it will enhance public safety by creating additional time officers can spend providing direct law enforcement services to the community. Upgrading the IVS meets the City Council's vision for the community by saving money on repairs and providing a more reliable system. SLESF funds are specifically for law enforcement purposes only, and their use will have no negative impact on the city's general fund. It is recommended that the City Council, after considering public testimony, allocate $165,000 in SLESF funds for the future purchase of equipment for the police department's ARWS system and upgrades to the IVS. I stand ready to answer any questions.
Chief, you said that it'll have no negative impact on the general fund.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor, council members. This is all grant funding.
Okay. Any other questions?
Before we take a vote, I just want to put, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a public hearing.
Yeah, I have to, or did you want to?
Yes, I just want to put on the record before we do anything that this contract benefits the city, but because of my dual capacity, being chief of staff on the board of supervisors, that I have to put on the record that I am employed by the County of Orange, which is the other party to this contract. It doesn't foreclose me from participating, but I need to put that on the record.
Okay.
That's for 5A1 actually, which is the supplemental item under this.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? Okay, I'll open a public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this matter? Sure.
Why don't you come
my
back?
question.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's quite that sophisticated, but maybe it is.
Okay, you're not talking about the report I just gave. You're talking about the system.
No, the system
The
itself.
automated report writing system.
Automatic, because I've been to a doctor's office when they talk like I am, and unfortunately everything would come out the other end as filled in. It isn't that type of a
No,
system.
we're already using a dictation company to help us do that. No, this is all electronic.
This is what I mean, is this isn't taking the dictation and just putting it in something
No.
and it comes
No.
up. Okay, thank you.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move the issue.
Second. Okay, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, now A1 we have to deal with, correct?
No, there's one action.
No, we have
Oh, 8A?
No.
A1,
5A1.
5A1.
5A1 has not been discussed.
Oh.
Okay, you're looking for a motion for that, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I'll move it.
Okay, I have a motion, second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Ordinances presented for second reading.
Mr. Mayor, 8A is ordinance number 2757 for second reading. It's ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove amending Section 14.12.010 of Chapter 14.12 of the Title 14 Water of the Municipal Code relating to water rates and charges.
Move to issue.
Second. Okay, motion, second, call for the vote.
I just want to put on the record, this is a matter discussed previously regarding the water rate increase that was passed down to us and not promulgated from the City Council. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Motion received, 4 yes votes, with Councilmember Doe voting no.
Okay. Matters from members. Ms. Broadwater.
How come you don't go with the young guy first? I'm the old guy around here. That's okay. Rodney,
Well,
come.
We're afraid you might go to sleep. We want to get you as quick as we can.
I'm not even old enough to be on a swim team with.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I guess I am. Okay. Rodney said nobody cares where someone lives. And I just want to, we can't speak when they're talking at the podium, but I want to say that all of us care. I mean, I hope so. I don't think anybody should participate on this council that doesn't live in the city of Garden Grove. On the other hand, I'm not a detective, I'm not an investigator, and it's not my job to go find that out. I do believe that we've had a history of that in all of Orange County. We've had people run for office all over the place. They rent a small apartment or a home and a room in a house or something like that, register to vote, and boom, they're in. A good example of that was Senator Hurt. He lived in Anaheim Hills. When he put his head down at night, he went to sleep in Anaheim Hills. But he had a little house over here in Garden Grove where he registered to vote, and for 4 years he was a senator in the state of California, and he did not live where he was running from. However, I don't know that that's a violation of a law. I really don't. I know that the district attorney won't do anything about it. There's been judges on all kinds of rules against people living anywhere they want to. I would hope that a person that ran for office in Garden Grove lived in Garden Grove. And if Rodney thinks we should be looking into that, I don't think we should be looking into that, and I don't think our police department should be looking into it. If we felt that so badly about something like that, I think we should hire an outside group to do that. But I'm not even sure what law that would be a violation of. I do know that it's happened before. Like I said last week, we had a mayor that actually lived in Canyon Lake. He was the mayor for about a year after he moved up there. We had other people do that exactly here. I've seen both parties, Republicans and Democrats, do this type of thing, move around, rent a little room somewhere, and then run for office there. Sometimes it works for them, sometimes it backfires on them. I don't know. But I think that I'm surprised that the newspapers don't do something about it. If it's true, if what Rodney is accusing Mr. Doe of doing, then why aren't the newspapers looking into it and doing something about it? Because either they don't care or they don't do investigative reporting or something. I have no idea what the answer to all that is. But I do think that Rodney ought to find out, spend the money, hire a detective, and find out what he's doing or stop it. Leave Mr. Doe alone. So anyway, I just wanted to, I wrote a number of things down people were talking tonight. I think I've covered them all. I want to wish certainly Bill and Sandy a happy anniversary. How many is this, Bill?
48.
You're kidding, 48.
I got married when I was 18, so now you can figure out how old I am. And I had you fooled. Actually, you thought I was older.
Oh, no, I thought you were a young guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, that's all I have tonight. Thank you very much.
Ms. Nguyen.
Yes, before I start, I just want to congratulate Beatrice. But Beatrice, I have a question. How old do you have to be in the Senior Olympic? 50. Okay. So there's a
told
lot
you
of
I
people can join. Again, I want to congratulate Los Sanchez. I've been there. They have good, delicious food, and I love Mr. Sanchez's voice when he's calling out the order. And if you want to know what it sounds like, it's really fun. You just have to go there yourself. It's on Garden Grove Boulevard. And support him since it's in Garden Grove. Support our Buy in Garden Grove program. I also wanted to thank Robin Macario for her last installation of the bench in the city. I know she put out a lot of work on that, and also a lot of time with the children and teaching them how to do that, and really appreciate that it's better to have to preserve our city and to beautify our city. And good luck to Robin in your new school year. If anyone, for anyone who doesn't know, Robin is a school teacher. Lastly, I want to wish the mayor and his wife a happy, maybe second anniversary, because I went to Anyang with the mayor and his wife about 2 years ago, and we went to a traditional Korean village, and they put on the traditional wedding dresses and costume for Korean weddings. So in my eyes, they just had a wedding 2 years ago. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I just want to say happy anniversary to the mayor and his wife, Sandy. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Dell.
Likewise, Mayor, congratulations to you and Mrs. Dalton. And Mr. Broadwater, if you think you were defending me by making those comments, I don't think I need any defense. It's interesting that the two possibilities that you threw out, that they don't care, the newspapers, or that they don't do investigative reporting, that one of the possibilities could be that I actually lived there, and that maybe people did look into it, and they found no reason to raise this as an issue. It's interesting how people don't ever consider that possibility. You are too much of a statesman to impute that you didn't think of that possibility. I could only think that maybe you choose not to raise that as a possibility. So regarding Mr. Powell, until people come here and make comments that's verifiable, with substantiated by facts, I consider them to be spurious allegations. And so I invite people to come here, present evidence, show the people something. I've been sitting here, I figure I'm not going to address this issue, but since it's been brought up and then now mentioned twice on this dais by council members, I'm going to I have to respond, because I feel like my dignity is at stake. And if people don't know me by now the way I am, then there's no need for me to go out there and trying to convince you and trying to prove a negative. That is not going to happen. You put me in a no-win situation. And so Mr. Powell, he can say whatever he wants. I just think that let me defend myself up here, because I think the words coming from this dais will hurt me a whole lot more than what he says. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell, what was Shifty's last name? Okay, Shifty Powers. We will adjourn the meeting. Oh, I guess I should say happy anniversary, Sandy. But,
That's right. Remembered.
what is it, 52% of people now getting married, divorced? You burned the eggs. That's the end of it. I mean, I guess that's how simple it is nowadays. I'm sure that I'm not the easiest person to live with. So anyway, congratulations, Sandy. Let's go for another 10 or 20 or whatever I have left. I will adjourn the meeting in Shifty Powers' name, a military veteran. Do you have an address for their family? No, I don't. Okay, then we may not be able to notify them, but if you do find something. And I would also like to adjourn the meeting for the family and in honor of Chet Shearer. Chet Shearer passed away on September 5th, and he's survived by Mary Shearer, his wife of 54 years. And they have 4 children, Gloria, Sheila, Brad, and Scott. They have 10 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. And he faithfully watched the council meetings because every now and then he'd have something to say to me, but you know what? It was all good. This man, I knew him because My daughter is married to his son, so I've known him for many years. But I know I've never heard the man say a bad word about anyone. It was always complimentary, or I think the old adage, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. But came from Nebraska and had what they had then in those days, the Midwestern ethics and morals and all those things that we're losing, unfortunately, everywhere, not just in the Midwest. But one of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. And my sympathy goes out to my daughter and her husband, his son, and the whole Scherer family. And, I thank you on a personal level for sharing him with my family for all the years that we knew him. So we will adjourn in Chet Scherer's honor. Thank you.